So the penultimate or the ultimate race, the last race on the card, is the featured Maryland Million Classic on Maryland Million Day at Laurel Park. It's the 11th race on Saturday. It's running a mile and an eighth for 3-year-olds and up. And I'll tell you, this is another one. This offers a ton of betting opportunity. It is really kind of a difficult form fitting race. It's just there's just a lot of monkey wrenches in there, and we'll talk about them. But you do have Market Maven, who actually unofficially won this race last year, but there was some bumping in the stretch, and he was disqualified to second. And Ain't the Beer Cold, who's in here today, ended up winning. You got Mugatu, we saw on the Derby Trail for a little while. And you got a couple of horses who have recently run career highs and have certainly sparked some interest, most notably Mosler Time, who is the second choice. And then Feeling Woozy ran a monster last year at the distance, and I think everybody's recalling that. So he has become the prohibitive 9-2 favorite. So looking at this field, the front runners I think are going to be Mosler Time and Ain't the Beer Cold more than likely. Ain't the Beer Cold, if his form was better, I'd be all over him in this race because this is a race where form, I think, is the key determinant. Nobody's really in really good form. Most of them are coming to this race kind of pokey. And most of the time, we'll talk about, he just ran a really big race over at Timonium, but he got away with very soft fractions and was able to walk home. This is a horse who has some ability, but I'm very reticent to take a horse who runs a big race like that. Y'all have heard me say that before, especially stepping up in class with a big field. And I just have a feeling he's going to get swallowed up. So I'm going to let Mosler Time go. I'll bet against him. I don't like him at 5-1 here. And as I mentioned, Ain't the Beer Cold, his form just isn't very good for the last couple of races. If he ran back to what he has before, he'd be a very strong contender in here, but I just can't take him off of that form last time. Market Maven is coming back onto the dirt after kind of a subpar turf effort, but two back he ran a solid race around 2 turns at the distance, and he did run very well in this race last year, so I think it's logical that he will have some improvement. Ran in the Stormcat 2 back and ungraded stakes like this, and it was pretty good. So I think Market Maven is a good fit here. Delice Vita is a hard knocker, and I like this horse. I has some back class to indicate that he should be pretty good here, and coming in second off the layoff, moving from sprint to route, I think that's a good angle for the trainer, and I like Delice Vita again because he's in decent enough form, and that's what we need to look for in this race. Hit the Road Jack is one I kind of toyed with, but the problem is he just ran a big race around 2 turns at Timonium, I believe, but it was Lasix assisted, and if you look, his efforts with Lasix are significantly better than they are without, and so he may surprise. I kind of went back and forth with him at 15-1, but I'm going to bet that stepping up in class without Lasix probably does him in. Now, Feeling Woozy, about 7 back, ran a really big mile and an eighth race and got a 100 Brisnet figure, and I think that's why he's likely the favorite in here. His last few races have been around 1 turn in sprints, and they've been okay, nothing to write home about whatsoever, but maybe going back to 2 turns is what this one wants, and so if that's the case, then if he can run anywhere near back to that 100 Brisnet figure, he's a very strong contender in here. So we'll hold out hope that perhaps he can rebound moving to 2 turns. I settled on Brilliant Ice in here. Brilliant Ice, to me, coming off the bench, running fresh, has the best form and has the back class to indicate that has run a lot stronger races than quite a few in here. So running back to his usual race would be a winning effort, I think, here. And at 15-1, you're getting outstanding value. I think you have to find a price in here. He proved in the Frank Whiteley a few back at 7 furlongs that he can run well without Lasix, and so that's also a determinant here. Should be sitting just off the leaders, and again, being fresh, running in this race, I think gives him a big advantage over a lot of these other horses. So Brilliant Ice at 15-1 for value, and I think he's a really solid pick to win this. A couple others to think about for under. That's what the asterisk means. Little Lance is running for a good barn right now. Bill Campbell's barn is is going well. I have noticed that by Imagining, who is a son of Giants Causeway, Little Lance's better efforts have been around 2 turns. And while he suffers from class, he probably isn't in the same class with these. At 30-1, he's in decent enough form, and moving to 2 turns, which he likes, I think gives him a chance to factor in this race, more so for the underneath and the exotics because, again, of the class. But at 30-1, you're getting a nice price to spice up your trifectas. And then finally, Vance Scholars. I think Vance Scholars is a good fit here. Class-wise, I don't think his form is that bad. The problem is this horse always seems to settle for second or third. He's absolutely a horse you have to put in your exotics, but I think he's a little shy on the win end, and that makes me reticent to try to put him on top. I also think because we have some vulnerability amongst the front end runners, that the pace is likely to be moderate to slow in here, and certainly that's not good for closers. So Brilliant Ice, the pick to win it at a price. So we take a look at our wagering strategy. We'll go with Brilliant Ice to win. Hopefully we'll get something close to 15-1. I think we'll get an overlay no matter what it is, given the vulnerability of this field. We'll do a key exacta with 10 on top with 3, 5, 8, and 11. Then we're going to box Market Maven, feeling woozy, in the possibility that he may run back to that Great Mountain 8th race, and then Brilliant Ice. So we'll box them 3, 8, 10. That should give you an idea that this is a wide open race. So I want to try to. I normally would go a little more acute with my betting, but I think you have to spread in here. And then trifecta, we'll just go 10 with 3, 5, 8, 11, and then we'll throw Little Lance on the bottom, 1, 3, 5, 8, 11. Great betting race, lots of value to be had. And I think, if we're right, we're going to get a really nice payday here. So I hope our analysis helps you with your own wagering strategy. I wish you the best of luck as always. If you've watched the other postings for the Maryland Million, there is a ton of betting opportunity for these races. And it should be a really fun card, and I'm looking forward to it. It's kind of a break from our normal circuits. Speaking of which, we're going to try to get the pick 5 for Aqueduct for Saturday because there is a carryover, and I believe there's a couple of stakes races in it, so we'll try to hit that. Time permitting, we'll do the best we can. And as the Breeders' Cup is rapidly approaching, we're going to have Euro profiles and race replay analysis, and we'll start that next week, so be on the lookout for that. That's it from here. Lots to look forward to, lots of content on the way, so stay tuned. I'll talk to you soon, and until then, be well.